40, when they first started laying, that's when they first started laying off the streets and selling selling the ground in lots to people. Back in the first house, that was built in Sunderland was down here on the hard road with concrete blocks. That was back in 1940. Back in 1935, Sunderland was nothing but a big cornfield. That fall in the fall in about September and October in 1935, I plowed all of this ground where Sunderland is. It was all plowed and turned under to sow it in winter wheat, to harvest wheat in 1936. It was nothing but farmland.
Did you help build me the houses around here?
Yeah, I helped construct a lot of these houses in Sunderland. I helped build some of them. That was still long time before you was born. Now,
did you hunt in this area?
Did I what?
Hunt.
Yeah, I've hunted all over this area before it ever become Sunderland.
What'd you hunt for?
I had a real good rabbit dog at that time, and the rabbit my dog would jump the rabbits up, run them right around, and I'd shoot them with my gun. Back in 1930, and all through 1935 and 36, from 1930 to 36, I hunted all over this place.
Did you know where Acrebar Farms is? Acrebar Acres?
Knew what?
Where Acrebar Acres is.
Acrebar Acres? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this year used to be a great land for farmland and real good rabbit hunting ground.
Was it?
Yeah, 1935 year had when Sunderland was a big cornfield. I hunted all up and down through the corn stalks and my dog would jump the rabbits up and I'd run them around in front of me and then I'd down them with my gun.
Did you build any of the churches and stuff?
Do what?
Build churches.
Build some of the churches. I helped build some of them. It's Rolla Manor Baptist Church. I helped build both of their buildings over there. That first building over on the east side, it's built out of concrete blocks. I helped construct every bit of that building. Some of the older generation in the Shook family, the younger generation, this younger generation now, I probably wouldn't know but the older generation.
Did you know I'm very good?
Did I do what?
Did you know the Shook's very good?
Yeah, the older folks, the older generation of the Shooks.
Did you ever hunt squirrels around here?
Yeah, I've lived through 3 generations. Yeah, I've hunted squirrels, and one day I went out, I come back, I had my hunting coat plumb full of squirrels.
About how many did you have?
Oh, probably a dozen or more. Yeah, I've hunted all over this place now. Used, this place used to be pretty heavily wooded with trees. It was all, it was all cut down, and the stumps pulled out by tractors and made way to lay it off in lots.
Did you go to the churches that you built?
Yeah. The first church that was built in Sunnyland was this little frame church over here. It used to be the Christian church that was built over here.
Yeah, the
Away
one on North
over here where the West it's the Wesley people has it now.
Is that the one on Lauren Street?
Way over on Lauren Street. I remember when all these streets was laid off and when they was all named. Near Beverly Street, it was laid off in 1949, and they was named Beverly Street in 1949.
Did you know why it was named Berry Street?
Family of Beer and family by the name of Beery used to live on this street. I don't know whether they do that now or not. A family, their last name was Beery, and the street was named after them.
Do you know much about the places by Farmdale and stuff like that?
Huh?
Do you know very much about Farmdale?
Farmdale? Yeah, that used to be all a lot of it is still in wooded land. It used to be Farmdale, where that Farmdale Park used to be heavily wooded, and used to be bears all through that area.
Do you know where the Rinkenberger Cemetery is?
Rinkenberger? Yeah, it's way over here.
But
Yeah, it's way over north here. I know this little cemetery down here by the convenient market, convenient market down there. That little cemetery, that cemetery is over 100 years old. That's been some of them people buried in that cemetery. That's been buried for way back in 1865. During about the time when the Civil War was going on between the North and the South states, between the states here in the United States.
did you get married out here?
I got married to Esther back in 1947, and we lived in a house trailer down in the old part of East Peoria.
Do you remember the flood of East Peoria?
Yeah, what?
The flood.
The flood? Yeah, I remember when the East Peoria had a big flood. And water got up in my trailer. got up to where the almost got up even with the bed and it woke me up, and when I stepped down on the ground, the water come up to here on me in the night. And then my nightgown.
Where'd you go?
I went into the house upon the hill that owned the ground where the trailer camp was. Next day, all the water was went away.
Did any bridges get washed out?
By day and night went to get away.
Did any bridges?
Yeah, washed some of them out.
Do you remember what?
I remember now this happened when I was just 8 years old. When first time I seen Peoria, when Peoria only had about 50,000 people. Back when I was 8 years old, I come with my daddy from Harrisburg up here, and there wasn't no hard roads there at all. Just one main road from Harrisburg to Peoria. The main road just had a little gravel on it. Wasn't no hard roads. The first hard road that was made in the state of Illinois was Route 1 and 51. And they was made back in 1924. And it goes still further back. And when me and my dad, when I was 8 years old, we left Harrisburg, Illinois. We left one Saturday morning in a teaming wagon. And we drove all week from one Saturday morning to the next Saturday morning of the next week. The next Saturday morning took a whole week to drive a teaming wagon from Harrisburg to Peoria. We come up to Peoria, and my dad took back a wagon load of woven wire fencing from the Keystone Wire Company. At that time, it was only one bridge. It was only one bridge that went across, and that's where the old Iron Bridge that raised it up. Well, that bridge wasn't there at all. The bridge at that time was a wooden bridge. It was a wooden bridge, one lane. If you got on it first, people on the Peoria side had to wait till you got off. They had a few trolley cars, cobblestone streets, all the best streets that Peoria had were just cobblestone streets. And they had a few electric trolley cars in the city of Peoria. And Peoria only had about that time, it was a city of about 50,000 people when I was 8 years old.
When you was here, was the river very clean?
Yeah, it wasn't quite as wide and as big as it was. The floods and that this country has had, and when it's caused it to be washed and it's widened out through the years as went by.
Did you do any fishing?
Yeah, I fished and caught a lot of big bass and catfish out of that river when I was a boy.
What was the biggest fish you ever caught?
Oh, the largest fish, I guess, would be from my elbow to my tip in my fingers. Pretty good size. That was a buffalo. Yeah. And I've caught some catfish. I've caught some catfish about that long too. Channel cat. Yeah.
Did they have modern cars out here?
Back, I can remember when the first old antique was manufactured. Back, the first antique cars. Back I can remember when the first old antique was manufactured. But the first antique cars had big hard rubber buggy wheels with a little more than two-cylinder engine and gasoline engine. They right in under the seat. It's like a horseless buggy. And he steered it with a big lever. And they were built back in 1903. 2 years before I was born.
When you was talking about plowing up the land,
Yeah.
do you have a garden or a garden now?
Have a garden now? Yeah.
Is it very big?
Yeah. I've had a small garden. I've had gardens that covered 4 and 5 acres.
What was the biggest garden you ever had?
No, but not the biggest garden I've had. Would cover about 5 acres. In what you'd could say a garden. That was back when in my young days, when I was in my middle 20s.
Did you?
I had a variety. I had my 5 acre garden. I planted flowers around the outside of it, and made a pretty border that bordered the bed, with the vegetables, a variety of vegetables through the 5 acres. About every kind of vegetable that can be raised.
You raised all kinds of vegetables?
Yeah, with the best of fertilizer. You use the best of fertilizer, and then you can use to keep bugs off the plants. Like not like beans. You can take a rally sprayer, dust sprayer, and put slight lime in a little pressure dust sprayer, and spray the slight lime over beans and vegetables, and that'll keep certain worms off the cabbage, also off, and keep bugs and worms from eating the beans up too.
Have you ever had a crop fail you?
Have what?
Have you ever had a crop fail you?
Yeah, I've had crop failures too. When I've seen when we'd have a drought, and when it wouldn't rain, it'd be a dry spell. And that's when you don't. That's when you don't raise it. You see, it takes a lot of good rain to raise vegetables and raise a good garden. Yeah, I've seen good times, and I've seen real poor times, bad times. See, I've seen only some years have been real good, some years not so good.
What'd you do out here by yourself without neighbors and stuff? What'd you do out here by yourself without the neighbors?
Well, about the closest neighbors back when this was all farmland, but the closest neighbors sometimes would be about 5 miles away from you. from 3 to 5 miles. Neighbors, they just be farmhouses from 3 to 5 miles apart. Some, you know, the closest neighbors would be about the distance of about 5 miles. We had what called back then they had the old party telephone line, and you told me to ring with a crank to ring your neighbor. You want to talk to your neighbor, maybe 5 or 6 or 8 miles down that country road. Right. He rang his number by so many turns with the crank. He rang his number, and he'd take the go to his phone when he rang his number. Right. His phone would ring. He'd go and take the receiver. Would have big long cord, and receiver about looked like round just like a long tight milk bottle. And you put this receiver, hold it in, put the receiver up, and then the mouthpiece, he'd pull the mouthpiece down, if the wall phone, or down, or he'd talk to the mouthpiece. You see them old box telephones with a crank on the side? That's what they had back then, before Sunnyland was Sunnyland.
Didn't you ever go to your neighbors' houses and visit?
It would be old antique phones now. Huh? Yeah.
Didn't you ever go to your neighbor's house and visit?
Yeah, on weekends, like Saturday night, we go and we sit up. We sit up maybe almost midnight and play checkers.
What'd you do on Sundays?
Sunday, we all gathered at the church house. We all after we seen each other. We seen everybody went to church back then, and then we all went there. Sometimes we go home with some of the neighbors and have Sunday dinner with them.
Did you ever miss a day of church in your life?
Never did.
Not a day?
Never did miss a Sunday. No, unless it was on account of sickness. The only time. Almost 64 years. Every Sunday, unless I had a few times I've had the flu and be sick, which the Lord would excuse me in case of sickness.
Have you read the whole Bible yet?
Oh, sure, several times. That big Bible under there?
Yeah.
That's my great-grandfather's Bible. That's the oldest Bible in the house. And that Bible, that's the original. That has the original Greek words. The Holy Bible of God's Word. That, some of the Bibles like that is valued pretty highly. That Bible is worth a lot of money today. That Bible, I had that Bible there. I had that Bible back then when all the Sunnyland was nothing but farmland.
It was before that, wasn't it?
And way back before that, that Bible was in existence before I was born, even before my dad was born. And even when my grandfather was a boy, that Bible was in existence. My great-grandfather was one that bought that Bible. He paid about $50 for it.
You mean that Bible was $50 back then?
Yeah, they had 50. A big Bible like that. Now you you couldn't get a Bible like that at all. But was they go they got big Bibles, but they got the modern version. You know, and they don't they're not as good as that one there is, because that's got the original Greek words of the Holy Bible, like the Lord and the language that Jesus spoke. That's what that Holy Bible. That's what we're all going to be judged by the Lord when the Lord comes back to earth again. He's coming back. You know why? Because he said he's coming back, and the time is real right. So he's coming right now. He can come. He can show up and come back to this earth, and when he does, the righteous will carried away to the place will be the New Jerusalem, and Satan will be chained for 1,000 years to his bed, according to God's voice. And when Jesus comes back, then Jesus will set up his kingdom right here on this earth. It won't be like it is, but everything will be burned up. And it'll be changed and make a new, it'll be a new kingdom that for the Lord to set up his kingdom.
What was the first store out here?
What was the first what?
The first store.
The first store? Well, it used to be what's called a general store. It had everything. They sold dry goods, groceries, and hardware. You could buy anything that you needed. That's what you mean. It's called a general store, because they sold everything in one store, and it was about I'd say about 3.5 miles over east here, between here and almost in the main part of Washington. Was the first store, and it was constructed out of logs, and they used clay to close the cracks up. It was the main general the main general store in the little village of Washington.
Did you have any relatives out here?
All of my dad and mother's people, they originated down in the extreme southern part of the state. What's called Little Egypt. Sling County, where I was born, that's Little Egypt. It always been called Little Egypt in Sling County, Illinois.